And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the stream. How are we all doing? I hope you are all having a great start to your week so far. I know I certainly have. Hope you're going to be in for an awesome night of content, hanging out with me. Rainy Redman, how you doing, mate? Glad to see you're in chat. Game on, Steve. Glad you're hanging out with us. Hey, Cypher, how you going, mate? Hope you guys have had an awesome weekend, a great start to your week as well. I'm just going to try and drop that a little bit further in my own head. How are we all doing, guys? Hope you guys are having a great start to your week. Getting some hobby action in yourself or some games. It's been absolutely awesome so far. Great start to the year. As the stream title says, Morty is broken, change my mind, Cypher. Oh, as in the good kind of broken, like he's bad now, or the bad kind of broken where he's just OP now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, an actual goldfish coming in with the 2-month sub. How you going, mate? He says, yeet. Awesome. Thanks for the resub, my friend. Really appreciate it. Cypher says he's ridiculously OP. Game on Steve is about to start building some more gobos. Bav, how you going, mate? Hope you're going well. Now, for some reason, it's not changed on here, but it should be changed, hopefully, here. And I don't know why it hasn't. But it should have updated my alerts. I did some work on them today. And so the media should have actually changed for them. And if I go to here, it should have updated. I don't know why it didn't. It's the resub one. I didn't update the resub one. Gosh. Well, just for you guys, I'm gonna play the new sub one. I'm gonna close the music on this so that you guys can actually hear this. Cause it's awesome. I did a bit of work on this. Now that is a test, yes, but that is the new subscriber sound. I've been doing a whole bunch of behind the scenes work on that. I'm really happy with how that is sounding. So yeah. Unfortunately, I forgot to update the resub for your actual goldfish, but that is the new ones coming in. 700 plus bolter shots to take down Morty. Oh, really? The sound's really low? Okay, let me, because what it does is it's going through the main one. Let me see if I do that. Now, you guys are going to have to let me know if this echoes. Because if it echoes, I've got a problem. Because it echoes for me, I'm not sure if it'll echo for you. But here it is. And I'm gonna mute the music again. And hopefully, if I do that, this should come through a bit better. How's that? Did you guys hear that? As well as the pop-up? Yeah, I thought it would. Okay. Okay. So, I'm going to have to do it. I'm just going to adjust the sound here for a second because the thing is, right, is my music is already pretty high and it's coming through that point. So, I'll figure it out. I reckon there's something in the sound settings that's not liking it. Music's too low, you reckon, Game on, Steve? I can up it a little bit. I just don't want it to overpower my voice. How's that? Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was too loud for you guys or not. I'd been testing it myself and just playing with how it sounds myself. Touch too far, you reckon, Steve? Okay. Let's drop it down to 40%. Alright, then if I go to
Priority target. All guns, open fire!
Hey, Game On Steve, thanks for the 100 bits. They are not now called bolter rounds in my chat. So, thanks for those, my friend. I hope that the sound of that alert came through nicely. So yeah, it's all Dawn of War themed on the channel, at least Space Marine Dawn of War themed. I've got a few other things in the works. But glad that it's coming through a bit better now. As I said, I just didn't want the music to be overpowering. I did mute it on its own channel, which is weird, unless I'll have to figure out a way that does it. Yes, Game On Steve, I will. Very much so. So that I just hope that tonight's the test. We'll see how they go. If they get silenced, then I'll know. If not, then we're all good. I'm hoping that they're a short enough time span that we don't really have to stress too much about it. Alright, so, tonight, as the description says, yeah, that was my thinking exactly, Rainy Redman, because it is relatively old. I did do my research into it and the statutes and everything, so it's not too much of a thing, because it is quite old, and it was, yeah. But we'll find out. We shall find out, guys. And go from there. So I'm going to start off picking up where I left off last stream if you were with me on Saturday. Yeah, nice, Rainy Redman. Love to hear it. So we've got the Necron Warriors. We just need to do some fine details on them. We got the attack bike that needs highlights, and we've got the Terminators that need a little bit more work and highlights as well. That's what we're working on this evening. As well, I read through the core rulebook. Yes, this is also true, Game On Steve. It's about how much they want to be a bunch of jerks. Yeah, I know, right, actual Goldfish? It is a long time ago for Dawn of War 1. So, I definitely know that feeling, my friends. But yeah, so I had a bit of a read through this afternoon of the new FAQs. I primarily focused around the main rulebook and the chapter approved missions. And so kind of what we'll do going forward is there'll be a specific topic for each stream, at least painting wise. So tonight's the core rulebook and the missions from the GT mission pack. But also then on Friday I'm still going to come up with one. It's probably going to be Space Marines and some of the chapters there as well, and covering some of the Death Guard stuff too. And then, what have we got here? Bav, I'm guessing they'll be okay with it. First of all, it's old, and second of all, you are promoting them, but then breaking any reputation. That is also true, Bav. That is also very much true. Rainy Redman says, because in all the novels and stuff, they talk about charge levels on the lasgun, and in the first and only fully charged shot goes through a Chaos Marine helmet. So I'm thinking a stratagem called full charge volleys or something similar, so it gives the lasgun strength for neg 1 AP. That's interesting. That would be interesting to see, Rainy Redman. So yeah, has anything stood out for you guys from the FAQs for the big rulebook as of yet? We'll start there because there's a bunch of ones that I found that I actually thought were actually really nice changes. But I want to hear from you guys first. We do also have Stream Raiders going. If you are wanting to get involved with that, just hit the link in the chat. It's probably a bit further up now. And we'll be doing that throughout the entire stream. We'll probably end up having 5 battles over the course of the night as well. But yeah. So there's really a whole bunch of changes, a whole bunch of clarifications for the big rulebook now. And once I finish this one, I'm going to pull up my notes. And we'll talk through the first few. Because I got my notes right beside me so I can read them. So the first one is deploying units from reserves. Cypher's saying the highest roll going first is interesting, takes away some gotcha play and little tactics, but keeps it simple. Second player scoring in turn 5 is also really, really nice change and helps counter first turn advantage. Yep, we'll get into that one a bit later, Cypher. But that is definitely one I do agree with. The deploying, I'm glad that they finally clarified this. So, for deployment of units coming from reserve, they've actually now specified with an example that any deep striking unit or coming from reserve, so walking on table edges and such, you measure the 9 inches in 3 dimensions, and you measure the charge distance for them in 2 dimensions. So say they're 9 inches away from base to base and something's up on a second level, whilst you need to have 9 inches away diagonally, it's also still only an 8-inch charge. So they specified that in that FAQ at the very top. It was really interesting, that errata. I think it's a nice clarification on that rule. Actual Goldfish going back to 4th where it's virtually a different game every time. Yeah, I didn't play 4th, so I can't speak to that too much. Yeah, gameplay-wise, 100% makes sense. Rules, rules as written-wise, it's a bit, people would read into it and go, measure it 3-dimensionally, 2-dimensionally, and all this kind of stuff. But no, the clarification's good on that one. I really do like that they did that. And the fact that they actually included a diagram, I think that's more what I'm impressed by for it, with it being improved. Because it means that they're able to just give an image straight off the bat, and you know exactly what they mean. That's something that, we haven't seen previously. And they've only just started doing kind of in the last back end of 8th, 9th edition. And so by doing that, it means that it's a lot clearer, which is really nice. Rainy Redman having it as an order instead of a stratagem. See, I don't know. I think a stratagem would be better because, obviously it's going to be more powerful the larger the unit. So you do, because a guardsman unit can go up to 50, right, for infantry. If they combine squads, right? So if you did it in a way that it's like, well, cool, alright. So the first 20 is 1 command point. The second 20 is 2 command points. If you've got a full unit of 50, it's 3. Kind of is that idea. But also, actual Goldfish is right. You've got first rank fire, second rank fire. But what Rainy Redman's on about is instead of doing that, you can do a stratagem that makes it Strength 4 AP neg 1 on the las guns. Now, I would also see a stipulation if you do that you can't do the first rank fire, second rank fire order. You can't do both simultaneously. And I think that would make sense because rather than setting up the ranks, they're going to be focused on setting up the shot and firing it off accurately, making use of it. Yeah, making it heavy potentially, Cypher. That'd be a way to do it. Heavy one would mean that you'd have to use it at the start of the movement phase. So that'd kind of resolve that problem there. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, actual Goldfish. They'd specify on it that you couldn't use first rank fire, second rank fire. Yeah, exactly. Make some, give them some tactical diversity. So it means, like, if you have, a 10-man unit sitting back on an objective and they want to, put out some more decent firepower, I think the overcharge option might be a bit, not the greatest for it, quite possibly. Because if you overcharge it, then you can, you're losing guys, but, guardsmen are also cheap as chips. But I think it doesn't necessarily make sense for las weapons, because if you're going to do that, then what's, what are you going to do with, say, a multi-laser or a las cannon? Because they're the same line of weapon, right? So you've got to be careful when you think of options like that. Just from a game balance perspective, because it, yeah. Like, I agree that it doesn't, mightn't necessarily work, in... Like, I'm not actually sure. When are orders done, Rainy Redman? For guardsmen. Because that'd be the interesting point, is because if the orders are done during the command phase, then that makes sense. Because then you can specify on the unit that you can, right before the shooting phase. Okay. Cool. Alright, so they're done just before the shooting phase. That means what you could do, you'd actually put the stipulation in the first rank fight, second rank fight, not the stratagem itself. So you'd actually say that in the order that this unit cannot be affected by the overcharged stratagem or whatever it ends up being named. That's what you'd do. And it'd be a nice clean way of doing it. Alright. I might end up going over a second coat on the silver because it did get quite watered down on my palette. But yeah. I'll just mix it back in. Rainy Redman, yes, that would be hilarious if they both had a looked at it for the DMCA and saw the chat and go, oh, that's an interesting idea. Cypher's saying he saw a Reddit Mathhammer post that guardsmen with first rank fire, second rank fire, and vengeance for KD are actually one of the most efficient units taking down the new Morty. Lol, you need 98 guardsmen on average, all first rank fire, second rank fire, and vengeance of Cadia to kill him. So that's, what, 2 units of 50? And yeah, you could add it for for the Gene Stealer Cult Guardsman. Yeah, I have heard of that the charged shots do burn through the las gun ammo. Because I have read a couple of Caiaphas Cain. Oh no, sorry, not Caiaphas Cain, Gaunt's Ghost books. I've read a couple of Gaunt's Ghost books and absolutely loved them. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see, what they do with guard and how they improve them. But something else that they could also do. Yeah, First and Only. Yeah, that's the one I've read, the very first book of the Gaunt's Ghost series. Has anyone else in chat read it, by any chance, apart from me and Rainy Redman? Actual Goldfish is not, and oh, nice, Rainy Redman, you finished the audio book of it. That's awesome, mate. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it, actually. I've got to get the other ones in the series, but, with me and everything I do in my life, I don't actually have that much time for reading, if I'm perfectly honest. Hey, Killipod, how you going? Hope you're having a good day. What's been happening for you? Yeah, that's true. Hoping Guardsmen will get some wacky rules for board control, like giving Basilisks alternate shots, like the Orbital Bombardment, yeah. But without costing CP or something. Yep, so, yeah, you could do that. But generally, they've actually taken away a lot of alternate fires from existing artillery weapons. So think of the Thunderfire Cannon, and they've actually taken away all the different kinds of ammo and made them one stratagem. So, which, being an owner of a Thunderfire Cannon, makes me a little bit sad. But, not much you can do. I believe they do actual Goldfish. They've still got the Master of Ordnance. Yeah, Cypher, they did just make the Thunderfire Cannon pretty much useless. Now, if it still had the fire modes, then it'd be so much better. Alright. So, that is the Necrons done. I'll bring it in the center for yous. So, gonna look at all these warriors long enough until they clean their own mold lines. Very funny, silly part. I'm guessing you're working on some Necrons at the moment. Yes, that is also true. The Whirlwind is very good at the moment, especially when you combo it with land speeders. So, yeah, eliminators are nice. Eliminators are nice. That's for sure. I don't mind them as a 3-man unit, but seeing as though I'm a Deathwatch player, I found a way to actually make them even better. So there's a kill team that is specifically... Oh, they removed the strat for the, whatchamacallit, the, land speeder with the whirlwinds. That's rough. So, Actual Goldfish is saying Knight's greater than all vehicles. Yeah, it does. It is a bit rough. Killipod, if I'm saying that right, or I'm saying Silly Putty, however you pronounce it, my apologies, my friend. He's building some Necron Warriors. He's got 2, he or her, I'm not going to, specify here, has got 2 built and 38 more. I know your pain, my friend. I'm just going to switch here. Silly Putty. Ah, that's how you pronounce it. Thanks. I've got 40 warriors that I've built, and I've got another 10 in a box ready to go. Yes, Rainy Redmen, they. That is the correct terminology. I will try and... I'm getting better at it. Getting better at it. It takes time for me, though. So, yeah. 40 warriors right there, so I know your pain. Preferred pronoun is God Emperor. I like that. Very on theme with the channel. But yeah, still welcome. Alright. So that's the Necrons down. Actual Goldfish is Sir. With an ER. Alright. Where were we up to? I was talking... Who was I talking to? I was... Cypher. Blood Angels Eliminators are really interesting with the strat that gives the Sergeant Relic. Can give them the Blood Angel special ammo, where if you hit, you get +1 to hit against that unit in melee. Really interesting. Rainy Redman's preferred is Brother or Brothers. No worries at all. Yeah. So, as I was saying, because Deathwatch get the kill teams, you can take 5 Infiltrators, and then you can take 5 of any of the other Phobos Armored unit. And so you can actually take 5 Eliminators in a unit, and you just combat squad them. And so you actually get 5 in a unit compared to the 3 normally in a Marine army. Which is really good. Really good. Silly Putty, okay. Very easily, my friend. So, are you building just the standard box warriors, or you are building Indominus warriors? That would be my first question. Because the box warriors, I have not looked at the instructions for. Both, okay. So the Indominus ones, well actually this is probably true for both of them. Just for Gorse Reapers. Yeah, Cypher, I figured they were the same kit. Just, multiply the sprues. Just more the instructions. Just stick with the instructions, Silly Putty. Easiest way I find is break it up. So get all the pieces for one model out. And do it that way. Is just do one entire model and just do one after the other. That's how I did it with mine. It gets painful, but how I actually clean them up is I'd clean the legs first. Then I'd clean the gun the arm that's holding out. So I'll pull out a Necron to show you. So on this guy, what I cleaned first was his legs, and then up the back, because that's all one piece. Then I'd clean this arm here. Then I'd clean the gun, then the torso, then the head. And I found that because I broke up doing all the cleaning of the bigger pieces first, that it actually was a lot easier to get through. Alright, we're going to jump over to Stream Raiders. Thank you for everyone for placing down the units. But Silly Putty, the best way is just take it one at a time. If you do feel overwhelmed, just have a goal of doing 5 warriors. That would be the easiest way to do it. Do 5 warriors first, take a short break, do a scarab or something to change it up. Would be the easiest way. No worries at all, Silly Putty. Yes. I do agree with Actual Goldfish. Put on a stream, audiobook, YouTube, video, audio recording of the screams of your enemies, etc. and get to work. Yep, or you could just tune in to us over here on the channel when we go live to do the all the assembly. Actual Goldfish, thank you for all the units, my friend, and let's get to battle. My Berserker is going ham, as is yours, Actual Goldfish. And good work, Actual Goldfish. Well done. And you'll get the random reward, which is of a scroll for the bomber. What a fitting song, chat. Alrighty. So, place down your units. I'm going to put down my tank, as this one's not going to be too hard. But everyone can jump in. I'm going to accept the quests later. Alrighty, sorry guys, I was just watching that. And I'll just swap back. Rainy Redman, I'm also upsetting at the truck being out of stock. Yep. It's unfortunate that, you know, some of the most popular kits are out of stock at the moment, my friends. Silly Putty, was good time with you starting up your stream and me getting off work. Yeah. I try my best with the timings, man. I do the best I can. Yeah, that's rough, Rainy Redman, that your order hasn't been sent yet. So, Actual Goldfish, yeet. Well done, mate. And you also want a new Gorzag model played. What is the new Gorzag model played as? What, have you got a link that you can send to me, Rainy Redman, for that, model? So I can, see what you're talking about. And I can give you a permit in chat to just send it through. Ah, yes. Now I know. The banner guy with the grot. I don't actually know, man. I think he might actually have his own rules. Maybe on his download. Like, you might be able to download them off GW's website. Or they might have published them in the box or something. I'm not sure. I haven't got them, you know, haven't looked into the model myself. Alrighty, now we're just going to start doing the edge highlighting on the bikes, and we're going to get into the next FAQ point. So the next FAQ one is large models can stick out of your deployment zone if it's too big to fit in any other way, as long as the base still fits wholly within your deployment zone. Yeah, that's fair enough, my friends. GW is a bit hampered at the moment with their shipping. At least I know in terms of some places. Not sure what it's like for you as well. Rainy Redman is in our Discord, Actual Goldfish. Is that the gun placement for the Marines, the new one? Rainy Redman? Yeah, Cypher. So that's, you know, the whole intention is to be more, you know, if a model's base, you know, wholly fits within, you're good. Yeah, it's pretty much what was happening at the early mid last year. They were having the exact same thing because they did the exact same thing then. So that's probably the issue that you're running into, Rainy Redman, is what Bav's talking about. Yeah, but also, like, they can say that they're not, but also, like, they've still got to have production going and everything. Like, they can't do what they did last time, where they just completely shut down. And I understand they might have to, but at least let stores sell what they've got. So... Ah, thanks Actual Goldfish for helping Rainy Redman out with that. Really appreciate it, my friend. Now, where were we? Yeah, a lot of places are out of Black Primer, my friends. Even our local store here in Australia is completely out. When I was in last Tuesday, pretty much as soon as they get it in, it's gone within the day. So... Oh, geez, silly putty. That's crazy, my friend. Yeah, exactly, Bav. That's what they're doing at the moment. So... Yeah, right. That's just sometimes is what it is, Rainy, unfortunately. So... Yeah. Oh, yeah, like, but the thing is, Rainy, is that they've got to, you know, they've got to ship from the UK over to you in America is the thing. Oh, that's what you were replying to is Bav. Sorry, didn't see that. Yeah, I use a mix between GW or Army Painter Black Primer, personally. Actual Goldfish. So... But yeah. So, what are people's thoughts on that change about being able to deploy, you know, stuff like aircraft mainly is what they were focusing on. So say like a Storm Raven, where its wings go over the base quite far. As long as the base is in your deployment zone, it can be sticking out of the hull itself can be sticking out. What are our thoughts on that? They've just clarified it. It's just been a bit of an errata. Rainy. I'm not sure how it worked originally with it. Because, yeah, clearly they thought that it needed to be clarified specifically. You know, these generally will come in from more competitive players as well, so they like to argue both sides, whether it's rules as written or rules as intended, so who knows what the source of the question was. Alrighty, Bav, thanks for hanging out, mate. Glad you're able to drop by for a little bit. And I will catch you soon. Hopefully you have a good day at work as well. But yeah, I'm kind of mixed on that. I do understand what they're doing with the whole idea of that rule change. Just clarifying it so no stupidity and no one can abuse it, I think is always a good thing. I'd rather they do something like that than leave something in the air. Hey, Jensen, how you going, mate? Hope you're going well. We're just talking the new FAQs, actually. Primarily the core rulebook, and we'll get into the GT missions a bit later as well. But how you doing, brother? How's the rest of your weekend? How's study week been? Yeah, awesome. Which Dawn of War were you playing? Because there's about half dozen of them. Or maybe it's getting somewhere close to a dozen now. I don't know. Oh, nice. Game of the Year edition. Sick. Of the original. That's awesome, dude. Alright. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Actual goldfish that was closer to that. But, yeah. Alright. So, the next one is out of phase rules. All rules for that phase apply to... Okay. I remember this one. Yeah, nice, Jensen. Dark Crusade is a really good one. It's probably my favorite one out of the lot. Yeah, there's, I think, 4 for Dawn of War 1, 3 for Dawn of War 2, and then there's Dawn of War 3, which is just 1. But they've got a bunch of expansions for it. So, this is out of phase rules when it comes to unit effects. Well, so pretty much all rules for that phase apply to that unit. And they have embarking into a transport as an example. I'm going to actually pull it up on here just to get the exact wording. Because I do have my tablet sitting in front of me. It is acting as my stream deck. So I can actually do this quite easily to get the proper reading of it. That's what it means. So, say you have an action or an ability that allows you to perform a move out of the movement phase. So what happens is it actually counts as just a move. You count as acting in that phase, so you can actually embark into a transport during that move because you count as being in that phase. So that's what that one's talking about. Silly putty, when I am technically supposed to declare protocols after fighting, but before my command phase. It's at the start of your turn. So as soon as your opponent has completely finished their turn, from my understanding, it's before you do anything else at the start of your turn. I've played Necrons a couple of times. I'm pretty sure that is the rule for it. So... Oh, it started the battle round, is it, Cypher? I'm just trying to remember my games now. Actually, yeah, they were close to the start of the battle round. So, yeah. Because I declared my combat doctrines with Deathwatch at the same time. So the difference between a battle round and your turn for your actual goldfish is your turn is specifically things that happen during your turn. So objectives scored at the end of your turn, you count the points then. Whereas if it's at the end of the battle round, it means that both players have had to have gone before you can score it. So say, you know, an objective says, score this at the end of the battle round. You score it at the end of the battle round after both players have gone. So it allows for interaction. Does that make sense? Silly Putty, you haven't played since 5th. Yeah, so each player gets a single turn within the battle round. So... But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the out of phase movement stuff makes sense. Yeah, it does seem pretty good. The problem is that you can't control going second. It's just purely down to whoever wins that roll. So you can't really actually plan either way. So it means that you kind of have to take a middle of the road approach. You have to kind of plan for, you know, either thing to happen is kind of what you're looking at. Yeah, right, Jensen. Jeez. How fast you set up and we're able to play. Yeah, dude. That's crazy. Hey, King Beryl, how you going? Hope you're having a good start to your week. Hope you had a great weekend as well, my friend. Hope you're, you know, staying safe, staying well. Oh, Rainy Redman. Dude, that sucks. I'm really sorry to hear that. I'm really sorry to hear that, brother. Can we get some hearts in chat for Rainy Redman, guys? Yeah. Like, I understand that, Rainy, but it also sucks to have it, like, not in person and done over text. So... Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that, brother. Yeah, as a community, we're here. Actual Goldfish, I'm the exact same. I am the exact same. You do it face to face or not at all. So unless there is absolutely no other way. So to kind of share a bit of my background personally, I was a retail store manager for a clothing company here in Australia around this time last year. And I had a Christmas casual that, you know, I had to hire pretty quickly and train her up. And it wasn't, you know, it didn't go well. And unfortunately got to the point where I actually had to personally let her go. And I can tell you that, you know, it, even because, like, it was, even over a phone call, me as a person, I actually absolutely hated doing it. I hated doing it. You know, my area manager at the time was like, look, if you want me to do it, I'll happily do it. I'm like, no. It was, you know, my staff member, my responsibility. And so I had to make that call to do that. And I can tell you now, that day was probably one of the worst feelings I ever have had in what I've had to do. So, yeah, it's really, really rough when, you know, when you get let go, because I've also been let go from a job. So Rainy Redman, I get it. I get how you're feeling and what that can feel like. But yeah, not being done in person is really, like, that's not cool. Whatsoever. So, you know, I just hope, you know, you're able to stay safe and look after yourself, and, you know, that's what's important at the moment, brother. So yeah. And speaking of, yeah, silly putty. That's what he was saying. You know, it wasn't the best, but, you know, it's still, like, not in, especially in these times. You know, it's, yeah, Rainy, like, and that's exactly why it's, you know, you were helping out your loved ones, and, you know, you were doing your best to help them. And you know what? Credit to you for doing that. Because I know that there are people out there that wouldn't. So, you know, honestly, mate, I know it might feel not the greatest right now, but we're here. You know, honestly, you know, if you need to reach out, you're welcome to chat with me and, you know, send me a message. I'm here. You know, sure, I can't always get back to you as quick as I can, but, you know, we got the Discord where you can put, you know, share your hobby stuff, and there are voice channels there. Yeah, that's fair, Rainy Redman. Just, like, dude, it's more like, you know, as a person for myself, I very much, like, want to make sure that, you know, everyone's having a good time, like, you know, everyone's going okay and all that within the community here. And so, yeah. Hey, upside right there. You're actually going to have some time to get some painting done. That is awesome to hear. Instead of, yeah, you know, at least you got something to take your mind off it, right? So, and also, speaking of hobby, I'm going to let you guys know, because most of you guys that are here are followers. this Friday night is going to be my first edition of the Scotty D Chapter Community Hobby Night. And so what this is going to be is it's going to be a community hobby night. So if you guys want to come and hang out and chat with me, it'll all be via my Discord. If you want to join the Discord, it's up to the first 3 people. So the first 3 people to drop me a message via Discord, drop me a DM, will be able to get in on the call. But don't fret, like, if you aren't able to stay for the full time, do let me know in your initial message, because then what I'll be able to do is I'll be able to set up for people to come in after you've gone as well. So we can kind of keep a bunch of us in, all chatting, getting hobby done, hanging out, having a good time as a community on Friday night. So Silly Putty has already posted up the link for Discord. He's hit that command. So if you are not a part of the Discord, jump in there. Flick me a message over the next coming days. As I have said, it is first come, first serve. But it will, you know, if people do need to jump out. Jensen, yes. So to be a part of the call, you will, you know, yes, you can do hobby, but also, you know, we'll be chatting and talking and hanging out. There's also, you know, I'll be putting some rules down for it as well, for the conversations that we can have and what we can talk about. So, you know, if you're unable to, mate, you know, you're happy to just sit here and hang in chat. One of the requisites from everyone else will be to have chat open, so we can all kind of chat with you guys in the community. So yeah, I really don't want to have any more than 4 people on at once. So the first 3 community members that are followers. So if you are not following the channel and you want to get in on this, hit that follow button and you'll be able to jump in on the community hobby night on Friday night with myself and others. So, but yeah, I'll try and get to you kind of in the next 2 days beforehand.
Oh, yeah.
Silly Putty. Oh, Silly Putty coming in with the sub. I don't know why it's doing it, but you know what? It gives me an opportunity. Where is it? I'm just going to do it anyway.
The Emperor's finest will honor you.
This is a test.
I couldn't help myself. Rady Redman, it will be from 7:30 p.m. my time, which was half an hour ago. It will be from then. So I'll start up the stream as I normally do at that time. I'll do the intro and then jump in with you guys from there. Silly Putty, thank you so much for the Prime sub, friend. Thank you for the support. I'm glad that you're enjoying the content and hanging out. I really do appreciate it. All good, Rainy Redman. 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. So this time, in 3 days. How so, Silly Putty? What specifically about them? Because I only just updated that earlier this week. Game on Steve is like plus or minus 0 hours for me. Yes, Game on Steve, because you're right in the same time zone as me. So. Oh, thanks, mate. It's something I am consistently working on. It's not where I'd like it to be at the moment, if I'm honest. But, you know, I'm working on it. So I'm doing the best I can with the time that I've got. So, but I'm glad that, yeah, thanks Silly Putty, I really appreciate that. You know, it's there as a platform for you guys to share the hobby you're working on, interact with other members of the community. I'm not as active on there, like, with interacting with you guys. I'm going to try to be so, but, you know, as a bit of a, you know, background for me, I am married. I've been married for close to 18 months now. I work full-time, well, close to full-time hours, sorry. Not fully full-time. You know, I've got a lot of other things I do in my life outside of, you know, work and streaming. So it's, I'm very much dialed in terms of how much time I've got to spend everywhere. So, yeah, when I can interact with you guys, I do. So, and I hope you guys, you know, find it as a platform that you're able to interact with each other on. So, but I do also keep an eye on things. So, being the mod at this minute, yeah, I'm kind of the point of call. If anything happens, come to me, pretty much. So, we've almost got another Stream Raiders battle going. So, this is something I like to do as well with you guys, is just hang out, have a bit of fun on Stream Raiders, play the game, and just really have a chill, fun time with it. I'm going to put some more water in my wet palette as Stream Raiders gets ready as well. Alrighty, it is a bit warm in here, but, you know. Alright, let's transition over to Stream Raiders. So I'll just quickly collect this 100 gold. And see if I've got any scrolls first off for my tank. I don't, but I am going to get the Berserker scrolls to upgrade him. Alright. Let's have a look. Oh, thank you, Actual Goldfish, Cypher, Silly Putty, Jill, and Jensen for the units. Let's get it. Alrighty. Hey, well done, everybody. And the winner goes to Silly Putty. Well done. Congrats on getting the 2 Bomber Scrolls. Alrighty, and then we're going to go for this gold chest down here. Alright. Now, I'm going to go and I'm going to place down my Templar. Ooh. Yeah, I'm going to place down my Templar. So, place units around me if you want them buffed. Apart from that, we're going to quickly do some stuff to we'll upgrade my Berserker. And we'll unlock. And we'll upgrade the healer as well. And I got another quest. Now, let's see, is it going to give me another one? Of course it's going to give me another one. Another 100 gold. Alright, get a unit to power level 10, okay. Alright, place down your units. Oh, Jensen, thank you for the... I believe he has placed an epic archer. So... easy win. Yeah, that's right, Jensen. It was an easy win. Yeah, nice. Epic Archer. Thanks for the epic, Jensen. Yeah, nice. Prophets of the War is one of your favorite audiobooks. or audio drama, I should say, to be a bit more specific, as you're saying. But yeah, all right. Should change back here. All right. So, moving on to the next, we're going to get into some objectives here and talking about these. As you can see, I got plenty of notes. That is true, Rainy Redman. That is true. So, the first objective that changed is whilst we stand, we fight. So this also changed in the chapter approved rules, so bear that in mind. It was changed from picking the highest points single model to the highest points cost units. And if you split up those units, say you have a unit of 10 intercessors and they're 200 points, I think, and that's one of your most expensive units. If you split them into 2 5-man squads, you actually need to destroy both 5-man squads to score that secondary. So what does everyone think of that? You know, Rainy Redman reckon that actually sounds so cool. Why do you like it, Rainy Redman? Why does that stand out to you? I'd love to hear why. For me, it stands out because it means that, you know, stuff like larger units, so Orc Boys or Big Mechs, big units of, not Big Mechs, but the tanky dudes, I forget. Guys, not, Power Armor Knobs, that's right. Are really able to, you know, actually have some value and be able to do something in the game in terms of objectives rather than just being killy. Yeah, exactly, Rainy. Like, I mean, if you put it, say, a unit of 10 Thunderhammer Storm Shield Terminators, I mean, they're going to have Mega Knobs. That's it. Thank you, Rainy Redman. I appreciate that. What was I saying? Yeah. If you take a unit of Thunderhammer Storm Shield Terminators, they're going to have a 1-up, 4-up, 3 wounds a dude. Oh, actual goldfish. Sorry, mates. Ding and knobs. Just a reminder about caps. Let me just do something here. I've got to fix Nightbot for you, mates. I don't know why it's gone and done that. I got to fix that workings on it because it deletes everything you've said before that, and you've been here a while, so I'm not going to go through and do it. The new Hitman game or Doom. I don't know, actual goldfish. I don't know. What was I saying? So, all caps Hitman. This is true. Hitman is quite interesting. However, speaking of games and, you know, films, has anyone seen, and this is probably like a month or two old by now, has anyone seen the photo of Tom Holland in a Nathan Drake outfit? I know this is a bit off topic, but has anyone seen that photo? Google it, actual goldfish, because they're actually doing an Uncharted film. Yep. I get that reference. Oh, Rainy Redman, so do I. So personally, I have not played the Uncharted series. Shoot me if you like, but I haven't played it yet. But to my knowledge, instead of being based off the movies, it's actually a prequel. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I hope it's better than the Doom films too. I've seen excerpts of those and they're horrendously bad. Or actual goldfish mice. Pick in general chat. Game on Steve's posted it in there. Let's have a look. I'm pretty sure he would have posted the Yeah, that's the exact one. That is the exact one. Okay, because it's got the rock, it's got some redeemable qualities there. Because it's got the rock. So, that's also true. Silly Putty, Infiltrators. That is a good question. So, Infiltrators have a very specific ability. Where deep striking units or stuff coming on from reserve. Game on Steve is correct, and I'm just about to dig into that, so just give me a sec. So, they stop units coming from deep strike or reserves within 12 inches of them, instead of 9. And so, whilst they are, yes, 24 points a model, so you're looking at 120 for a unit of 5, to be able to deny outside of 12 inches, within 12 inches of something rather than 9, is actually really big. So even if you actually use them as just backfield objective holders, that would be a way that you're able to actually make the best use of them, in my opinion. Because they don't really put out much firepower shooting-wise. Game on Steve has used them, so he can probably speak a bit more to how effective they are in terms of shooting. But just from my reading, you're mainly using them as backfield objective holders. So, yep, Reavers can be pretty good as well. The thing is that Reavers are elites. They're not troops. So they don't actually get objectives secured, Jensen. And that's what you're trying to do, is you're trying to have something with objectives secured on the actual objective, so they have to bring an objective secured unit, or you actually have to get the entire unit killed. Oh, that's what you're saying? Ah, now I see what you're saying. Sorry, Jensen. I misread what you're saying in the quickness of looking up at chat and then looking back down. My apologies, brother. I did not mean to misread you. Funnily enough, Steve, Game on Steve, I don't believe that you can actually make them a Chapter Master. Or that they don't actually get the, all the rerolls. Because the Chapter Master, you actually have to specifically specify a unit to do it. A Phobos Captain Cypher. So making a Phobos Captain a Chapter Master won't actually give the reroll everything to all of them across the board. It's just whoever, when you choose that unit that's within range of them. Because they have, yeah, one unit. Don't get me wrong. Jensen, thank you, mate. They are considered in range of the reroll ones, but not the rerolls all. If you give me a second, let me just clean out my brush. I will grab my Marine Codex, and we can have a look at this together. Having to move my AC unit to do this, because it's sitting underneath my old desk, my other desk. Alright. And then move that back. Cool. So. So where is it? Where is it? Where are they? It's further this way. So, the Chapter Master. So the Chapter Master's ability reads: in your command phase, select one friendly character chapter core or chapter character, unit within 6 of this model. Until the start of your next command phase, each time a model from that unit makes an attack, you can re-roll the hit roll. So, in a way, because the Imperial Fists... Where is the chapter tactics? Here. Somewhat. Yeah, it used to change Game on Steve, but they FAQ'd it. Not the most recent one, the one before that. They did change that. So they said that it doesn't override the rights of the rights of battle. Silly putty. So you could have an Imperial Fist Phobos captain making those infiltrators basically reroll everything. Not really. They'd only reroll the 1s. You're hitting on 3s still, so you're not rerolling the 2s. But on 6s, you get additional hits that make up for it. So, which is actually really effective. I've played a lot of bolters with my Marines as Imperial Fist before to do exactly that. It's actually really good. So, I do agree with that thought process of a tactic. So, yeah, exactly, Game on Steve. Like, they're not, you know, they won't blow something away in a single volley unless it's like something that's not really strong. But they can hold their own, and they're, you know, they're great at holding the backfield objectives, denying that deep strike range. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that aura, silly putty. So, because it's not actually an aura on the Chapter Master, you have to pick a unit that's within range. It's not affecting all units. And I've got to change back to painting. Yeah, it can get a bit hard. So, what I'm referring to and what I might do is I'll just silence the music for a sec. And silence in my headphones so I can explain it clearly. Because you're selecting one friendly unit, it's specifying you have to choose a unit in range. You're not actually having all units within the aura affected. So that's where the FAQ came in to say that it can't be put onto the multiple units through the infiltrator comms array. So you still get the one on the Phobos Captain, which I'll just find. So it's the Rite of Battle, yeah. When a friendly character core unit is within 6 inches of the model, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, reroll a hit roll of 1. So that's an aura. It specifies the aura. Yeah, it is a bit, but also it means that what people are actually doing is they're taking in mass infiltrators, having that comms array, getting reroll everything, and things like that. Yeah, exactly, Cypher. Exactly. So I just wanted to be clear with that and explain that a bit more concisely, so you guys could understand. So to help Silly Putty, you know, as he's getting back in and learning, you know, I want to make sure that it's helpful. Now, I'm going to swap back here as I just quickly adjust this to make sure that it's all nice and centered, because I believe I did hit it, and I didn't want to hit that. And have that there, and that should be up like so. Okay. That should be better now. No worries at all, Silly Putty. You know, that's why I've always got the questions. You are always more than welcome to ask questions here as well. You know, you feel free to do the exact same thing in the Discord as well, mate. Don't be afraid to ask or anything. You know, something that I'm very big on is, in this community, we help each other out. You know, we're all in this hobby together. We're all learning. We're all playing the exact same game. There's no reason that we should be not sharing our knowledge and not helping one another out. So that's something I'm very big on. So anytime you have questions like that, always feel free to pop them in the Discord or ask them on the stream. I'm always happy to talk through them with you. Alright, next rule change, which is the next objective. Well, actually, no, it's not the objective. It's the counter-offensive stratagem. So, yep, 100% there is, Silly Putty. I am not one of them, and I will not accept or tolerate that attitude within my community. That has no place within the community here. So, yeah, Sci-Fi pretty much is. So, the counter-offensive strat, you can't use it on a unit that is affected by always fights last rare rule. If a unit performing... Oh, no, this is a different one. So, okay. So, anything that's got always fights last, you can't actually use that stratagem on them. Yeah. Yes, actual goldfish. 100%. 100%. You know, that's what I'm trying to build here. Is a group of people in a community where you're able to, you know, do exactly that. Where it's a safe space where you're able to ask questions, you know, you're able to, you know, share what you're going through in your life and, you know, have a, you know, somewhere where you can just come, hang out, be yourself and not really care about what's going on. You wouldn't diddle an elder. Yeah. But yeah, so I reckon, you know, that was a pretty self-explanatory rule. I think, as Cypher said, it's just clarifying rules as written. Yeah, exactly. Actual goldfish. Diddle them with a Reaper Chainsword. Yes. Good response, sir. Yeah, no, it's a really good clarification on that as well. Silly Putty's like, a bit aggressive, but I see it. So, but yeah, no, I really like that they clarified that and specified it out. I mean, it made sense. Even without having the clarification, I can see why, it is that way. But, there's probably people that are like, well, no. It's because of this and this and this. Oh. I'll allow it this time, Cypher. So, I think, no, it's just, I'm just, yeah, no, I think last time I was a bit too liberal on letting things get a bit out of hand. Actual Goldfish knows what I'm talking about. So, I'm just, yeah. But, anyway. You were around for it. But yeah, no. I just need to be a bit more vigilant on it than I am at the moment. Anyway. So the next one. If a unit performing an action is repositioned / replaced with a stratagem or something along those lines, the action immediately fails. Well, I mean, that makes perfect sense, to be honest. I'm sure, Cypher would agree that if they don't complete the action before they are moved, that, an actual Goldfish, I'm referring to the Slaneshi stuff to, give you an idea of what I'm specifically referring to. I know. But also in the chat rules it is, we don't badmouth other streamers. And she used to be one. So... Anywho, getting back to the rules FAQ. So I think that one's pretty clear. That's pretty, fair enough. So the action is when you're performing an action for an objective, Silly Putty. So there are objectives in the game now where they require you to perform an action. And what that means is you can't actually shoot, charge. Yeah, 100% Cypher. 100% it does. So the action means, you effectively stop everything else that you're possibly doing to do this one thing. Too easy, Cypher. I do know a situation, and I can explain it to you in a second once you're back. So, Silly Putty, there are times where, there's an objective called Raise the Banners. And your unit has to place down a flag on an objective and stay there for the turn and not do anything else. And it's kind of a quest, kind of not. It just means that they're doing something other than what else they could normally do. So it's just a different kind of objective. So, if you've got Indominus, then you've probably got the big rulebook. So if you look in there in the secondary objectives, they're all secondary objectives. The action ones. It just pretty much means that you can't Yeah, so it's in the secondary objective of the match play section. And if you look in there, you'll be able to find those style of objectives. So... yeah, so what that means, to help clarify it a bit further for you, silly putty, is that when a unit, you know, is moved from a special rule and it goes into reserves, or it, you know, is swapped with another unit, for example, and one unit was performing an action at that point in time, the action actually fails is because they've actually done something else at that time. Does that help clarify it up a bit? Or make a bit more sense for you? If not, I do have... Oh, is it huge, actual goldfish? I haven't been keeping track of it in terms of how many guys we've actually got on there. I was actually watching a fellow... I was hanging out with a fellow streamer of mine that I know of that's, you know, helped me out a bit the other day on, I think it was Sunday. He got 58 different warrior, like, units on the battlefield in one of his battles. And it was huge. So... yeah. Mind you, he had about 30 odd, 40 odd viewers at once. So, there gives you an idea. So. Alright, gonna put that back in so it mixes it up. And we've almost got the next Stream Raiders ready to go. I've almost finished the gunner. If I can get the attack bike done tonight, I'm happy. Kind of. So, the action means that if you're performing, like, there are specific rules around the action. I'm just not sure where they are in the book. In the big rulebook. Give me a sec. I've got my rulebook sitting out on my table. Let me grab it. Thank you, Stream Captain Bot. So whilst I find these rules, we're going to go and... oh, gosh. Everyone's around me as a Templar. Thank you, Jensen, Silly Putty, Actual Goldfish, and Jill of Trades. Let's get some. Alright, I have found the actions page. If you want to have a look at it, Silly Putty, it is page 258 of the big rulebook. One house left. Yep, 258. Well done, everyone. Thank you for the help. And who gets the scrolls? Actual Goldfish and Jill, Master of None. Well, Jill of Trades and Master of None. Congrats. Alright, then I've got some things to collect. Alright. This is the big one. I'm putting down my big boy. My war beast is down. So that's going to be our next battle. So I'll leave that up. Alright. Actual goldfish, yep. Alright, so for the action, to make some sense for you, silly putty. So a task unit is attempting to perform is what an action is. Started and completed as specified by the action itself. So say raise the banners as the secondary objective, it'll specify when that starts. So if I go to that objective, which is on 285, funnily enough, you perform this in your movement phase with one or more infantry units. Each unit from your army that starts to perform this objective, this action must be in range of a different objective marker that does not have one of your banners raised upon it. A unit cannot start this action whilst there are enemy units, excluding aircraft, in range of that same objective, etc., etc. And the objective is completed at the end of your turn. But what you cannot do is that so what stops you performing an action is this: if a unit is destroyed, makes a normal move, advances, falls back, attempts to manifest a psychic power, declares a charge, performs a heroic intervention, or makes any attacks with ranged weapons after it has started to perform an action, but before that action is completed, that action has failed. Otherwise, in any other situation, that action is successful. Now, when characters do it, they also cannot use any aura abilities. So any rerolls ones, like we were just talking about with captains, they can't use that ability, that aura. So units don't benefit from it whilst they do it unless they choose to fail that action. Does that make sense? I hope you're able to learn a lot here with actions and such. Please let me know if you need me to slow down or re-explain stuff. I'm happy to do so. Too easy, silly putty. I'm glad that I was clear. Nah, dude. Well, sorry, silly putty. That is why I'm here, to help you learn. Actual goldfish. Read the book from cover to cover. Some of us don't have time to, unfortunately. Because I, for one, am busy making improvements to the stream and bringing live content to you guys in the time that I probably would sit down to read it. I'll read it on stream. What, cover a phase, a stream, you reckon, actual goldfish? Maybe. We might. Who knows? Content. Yes, that would be content. Yeah, oh, silly putty, that's fine. Like, personally, I learn best by playing. I don't learn best by reading or listening. I can listen to a ton of things, but until I actually sit down and do something, then I don't necessarily get it. Hence why all the YouTube stuff is still coming a bit slower to me, is because I'm trying to learn how to do stuff at once. So... like... Actually, funnily enough, actual goldfish I was. Not to, you know, put that target on my back per se, but I was actually quite liked by my teachers. By my fellow students, not so much. I can let you guess what that means. Rainy, that's really unfortunate to hear, mate. You know, I'm sorry, dude. I really am. That's fair enough, man. That's completely up to you. So, unfortunately, that is just... there are just some people out there that are like that. Yeah. Alright. I gotta be completely honest with you guys right now. You know, it's not on my profile on Twitch or anything like that. I have, you know... yeah, oh, that's completely fair enough. You know... at the end of the day, I think he shouldn't necessarily worry too much, and he shouldn't get that upset over it, to be fair. Now I'm going to preface this before I say this. This doesn't change anything that I've said so far. I'm always, you know, happy for you guys, hanging out in chat, everything like that. Oh, no, I get it, Rainy Redman. I just want to apply some context to my comments. Yeah, no, I get it. So I myself, I'm a Christian as well. Now, that does not change anything whatsoever. My personal views don't change. In terms of what you guys do with your own lives, it is... oh, Rainy, that's awesome, mate. Dude, awesome. Yeah, it's a big part of kind of my life, and so, you know, that's also something that takes up a lot of time for me. Yeah. See, for me, what I was going to be saying is that I don't view people as, you know, should be, you know, that are other Christians should be doing that. You know, that's not what, you know, what we believe. I think actual Goldfish was being rhetorical. Game on, Steve. But yeah, so, you know. All good, Game On Steve, all good. So yeah, no, it's just, you know, that's just something a part of who I am, and, you know, that I will always, you know, welcome you guys to this place no matter who you are, you know, because that's it's not my place to judge whatsoever. It's all good, actual gold fishing Game On Steve. Let's just chill. Let's just chill. Let's relax. You know, let's just take it down a level. Let's relax. You know, we're not here to get up in each other's grills. We're here to just hang out and just, you know, you know, hang out as a community. And, you know, I'd rather us not focus on things like that and just move on. And so that's where I'm going to say, all right. Yeah. No, that's fair enough, Randy Redman. What I'm going to do is we're going to end that conversation. We're going to wrap that up. We're going to move past it. And we're going to get back to some of the FAQs to get us back on track. Because this is a hobby stream. We want to chat hobby as well. Not saying what we're talking about. Yeah, no, that's all good, Randy Redman. No stress. I just wanted to kind of bring it back in. So, the next one is multiple hit rolls for one attack. So weapons that say you get, say, 3 attacks for 1 attack on your profile. Are each treated as their own separate attack for rerolls and modifiers. I think that's another one that's pretty self-explanatory that shouldn't have had to have been clarified, but is what it is, I guess. What do you guys think on that one? Game On Steve, these are the core rulebook ones. So, if I just pull it up for you on my tablet, I can tell you what page. It is on page 3 of the FAQ, midway, halfway through, halfway down the page is where I'm looking. And yeah, Rainy, it's more for the as written people, just so it's clear enough. So just to clarify, I've summarized. I've been very succinct in how I've written it. I've effectively gotten the essence of the change, rather than going through all the rigmarole and writing it all out when to discuss it. I just took the actual key takeaways from it. So that's that one. I think the rulebook page reference is 363 for rare rules, and then it's on page 3 of the FAQ. That's a pretty self-explanatory one. The next one is units with the fly keyword can charge flyers, can charge aircraft. Again, another one that makes complete sense. I'm sure you guys would probably agree with that one. And then that one's just a bit further down on page 3. It was in 8th. I don't think it was clarified in 9th. Yeah, so in 8th it was clear that fly units could charge could charge aircraft. I don't think in 9th they made that clarification. So that's where that change is. But yeah, no, again, that's a very self-explanatory one. One that I actually quite like as well, because that, harkens back to 8th and makes it, nice and consistent and makes sense in that regard. Alright, that is all the Marines done for the bikes. Now I've just got to do the bike itself. And geez, we've already been going for 2 hours, chat. Already been going for 2 hours. So, I'm glad that you guys have chosen to come and hang out with me. And just enjoy the content of the channel. Alright, next one. If you cannot set up a disembarking model wholly within 3 inches of the transport, set it up within an inch of the transport model. So, this is pretty much for units that have got bases that are larger than 3 inches. So, instead of just setting up within 3 inches, you set up within an inch of the transport. I think that one's pretty self-explanatory, and that's the next page over. So that's page 4. So I am going through these in, as they read down as well, Steve. Game on, Steve. For your reference. It's not really one that can be gained. So, well, no, it's more if there is a transport that can carry models that have got bases than larger than 3 inches that can't fit within that space from the transport out, then they just have to be within 1 inch of the transport. That's what I think they're doing. So, oh gosh. Say for example a Tyranid drop pod. Yeah, Redder, welcome. I did see that you were lurking around. Welcome to the channel, my friend. Dreadnoughts in drop pods is one, because Dreadnoughts are on a 60. You've also got, yep, Dread from a Storm Raven. You could also have a Canoptek out of the Tyranids drop pod as well. Or another larger beastie that fits. Things like that. Yeah. So they just have to deploy within an inch rather than being within that 3 inches. Which I think is a good change. I think that is a very good change, in my opinion. And it, again, it clarifies things and clears that stuff up. I think at least personally, I found there were a lot of things when it went to 8th edition that it's really simplified a lot of things, and they had to do a lot of FAQs and a lot of rules questions clarification because they did have the rules so simple, whereas now I think they're having to do a lot less. So that's another way you could do it, Game On Steve. And maybe they will. I don't know. So we'll see what happens. Next one. If a model has a rule that triggers at the end of its move and it moves off the battlefield edge. Mainly flies with bombing runs was the example given with this one. It resolves that rule or ability when the unit touches the edge of the battlefield before being removed. So just to go back to what Game On Steve's saying, I might make it hard for the guard infantry to fit. Yep. But as long as they're within an inch, you still play by that rule. Is what they're saying. If the models don't fit. And of course you still have to follow unit coherency rules as well. But, you know, another common sense change in terms of the bombing runs and such, you know, occurring before they go off the edge of the battlefield as well. But yeah, alright. We're not really getting into too many groundbreaking ones now, are we, chat? Next one up. This is a good one. Rules that prevent units being set up take precedence over rules that allow reinforcement units to be set up. The only exception to this rule is within the units from reinforcement's own deployment zone or within 1 inch of their own battlefield edge. So this goes back to what we were talking about, silly putty, with infiltrators. This is where they come in really handy because their rule takes precedence over other rules. So but yeah, that's what that one is. No, so it's more you can't block your opponent from deep striking their own deployment zone. For example, so you can't have infiltrators in their deployment zone. Well, you can. It just means that they can still deep strike within their deployment zone, ignoring that ability. But the 9 inches would still apply in that case. So it's not saying that the rule is ruled out. It's just saying that the denial takes precedence over the ability, is what it's clarifying there. If that makes sense. Yeah, so models rule deny. Yeah. So that one's actually quite an interesting one, because I know that there are times where people will argue that one back and forth and as to which is actually the case. But I think it's good that they've clarified that the denial is takes precedent over the ability. So that's similar to, say, when you do that with a Veil of Darkness, for example. So you can't Veil of Darkness within 12 inches of an infiltrator unit. So, but normal rules would still apply. So if they're within your deployment zone, yes, yeah, and I think that actually establishes the precedence. I would say, and I would argue. What do you mean in terms of unending green tide there, Rainy Redman? No, you'd still be able to do it. Because they can't actually stop that within your deployment zone. So that is the only exception to the rule. So they can't stop you within your own deployment zone. So as long as, if I'm reading this right, as long as the unit's within 1 inch of your own deployment edge, you're fine. Does that clarify that for you? Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you, Silly Putty. Having been a tournament organizer for some large events, I definitely agree, and I have seen it firsthand. Now, I'm glad I've, I made that clearer for you, my friend. So, alrighty, we've got a Stream Raiders battle coming up in a minute. But yeah, no. Some people do take tournaments way too far and they play for, well, what we call it here in Australia anyways. They play for sheep stations. So they take things too far, and I've seen it go bad, and I've had to intervene as an event organizer. So one time I literally had 2 top tier players at my largest event, which is about 80 players, a couple of years back. I actually had one of them come and get me, not want to even play the game against someone who was causing a fight, and they almost went to fists over it. That's how bad it got. Alrighty, 15 units are on the battlefield. Let's head over. Oh, silly putty. That's just no reaction then. I don't know why people react like that some days. Thank you everyone for the units. Actual Goldfish, Jensen, and Silly Putty. And let's go. And my big guy's going ham as he does. And we'll have one more battle after this for tonight. Well done, everyone. And let's see who gets the 200 gold. Silly Putty! Congrats, mate. Alrighty then, the last battle for the night's going to be this one right here. Alrighty, and then my Berserker's ready to go, so I'm going to put him back down. Alrighty, let's see if I've gotten any other quests completed. Sorry, I just had to hear, I heard a sound in the background. I'm like, huh? What the heck's that? And then it's my wife. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Alrighty. Let's get some Paladin Scrolls, some more Paladin Scrolls. We get some archers. More Paladin Scrolls. Get some Rogue Scrolls as well, why not? And then we can upgrade some stuff. And then the Rogue as well. Cool. Alright. Make sure to get your units down, guys. This will be the last battle of the evening. Oh, that's just rough, Silly Putty, when that happens. Oh, jeez, that's rough, Rainy Redman. And that's the wrong attitude to have, Game On Steve. Yep. No, I know exactly what it was. I apologize about that. I wasn't sure if it was coming through my mic or not. Actual Goldfish, thank you for the epic Paladin. The dude was playing Deathwatch and I killed 2 of his models because he was abusing cover. And Helix Gauntlet, so Tower players are bad. Like, I killed 2 models. Yeah. I did take down one of his knights to 12 wounds with 1 shot with a broadside, though. That's well done. That is really well done. And very lucky as well, Rainy Redman, to have done that. So yeah. So hopefully in the next 45 minutes, I can get this bike done. Oh yeah, I remember when Tau were the top army, and now Tau they've really copped the bad end of the stick. The past 2 editions, I'm afraid. which is really rough. Yeah, 5th Ed Tower as well. That's true. They were pretty average. Oh, jeez, Game on Steve. Yep, and I have a gut feeling I might know who that is in our local area. Yeah, 100% silly putty. Like, I've got some Necrons as well. Not Necrons, sorry, some Tau. I've got Necrons as well, obviously. But I personally couldn't get into them. Just their gameplay. Hey, Schmutt, how you going, mates? Hope you've been enjoying hanging out and listening to the conversation and just enjoying the stream. How you going? How's your week been? Yeah, awesome, awesome. You looking forward to Uprising? It's looking like it's going to be a pretty good event, especially the barbecue. How many Necrons have you got to base beforehand? Yeah, that's fair, Rainy Redman. Like, I mean, you've got the marker lights there, but, you know. Yeah, I think, Schmutt, because their stock is so hard, kind of not hard pressed, but you know they're going through a second or really a larger lockdown at the moment, and they've had to put off Death Guard, sorry, and it delayed releases. It's just kept on pushing everything else back. And I think that's what's really doing is because they're trying to release models with every new codex. So oh yeah, exactly, Rainy Redman. Or you run them with the commander, and you used to be able to use a drone controller where the drones would then shoot on the commander's ballistic skills, so you'd hit on 2s. But you'd only have 2 marker lights like that. Unless, you put him in a unit of marker light drones, and then, hey presto, there's an entire unit that's going to light something up, and you can just destroy something in a turn because of those marker lights. But that's 7th edition for you. So and Schmutt has to do basing on 60 warriors, 10 Lich Guard, 6 Corpex. But the basing isn't hard, it's just time consuming, and you should have it done all tomorrow. That's awesome to hear, mates. You'll have to let me know how you end up going. From over the weekend as well. And feel free to chuck some photos up in the Discord as well. If you're not a part of the Discord, feel free to join. If you hit !Discord, it'll give you the link for it as well. Oh, that's awesome. Is what platform? Like, what streaming service is that on? Rainy Red Man. Okay. I might have to check it out and have a look. So, alrighty. Well, if you guys are, speaking quite highly of it, I will have to find some time to sit down and watch it. That's for sure. Ah. Right. Fair enough. Alrighty. Yeah, that's fair enough. Alright, back to the FAQs actually. Let's keep on going with this theme. I'm liking this. I'm liking doing this on stream with you guys. I'm enjoying it, which is good. Alright, the next one. Use the modified characteristics of an attack at the allocate attack step of the attack sequence to determine if a defensive rule applies. Yeah, they are. Awesome. So, the example that was given was... Oh, game on, Steve. Is it in an arm socket? Are you able to pop it out? Are you able to get it out of there before it dries in place? Oh no. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, mate. Alright, so to clear this one up, because I simplified it a bit convolutedly. Say, for example, another Marine shooting at a Salamander Marine. Now, Salamanders have got the trait that ignores... Oh, no, game on, Steve. Not a special model. That's not good, my friend. Alright, where was I? So, say a Space Marine with Tactical Doctrine is firing against the Salamander. And these are just both tactical Space Marines, there are no intercessors or anything like that. So, just standard strength 4, neg 0, 1 damage bolter. So you apply the Tactical Doctrine at the allocated step. Now, if before the modifier, the Salamander's rule of ignoring -1 wouldn't have applied. But because it's got Tactical Doctrine, it goes to -1, and therefore the rule is applied. Then also, if the Marine has got a heavy bolter, normally, and heavy and Devastator Doctrine's active, for example, normally it's a -1 AP, and a Salamander would ignore it. But because of heavy Doctrine, of Devastator Doctrine I should say, not heavy, but because of it, it gets an additional -1, goes to -2, therefore the Salamander special rule does not apply, and it does get its full AP. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Feel free to just tell me in chat. I know you guys are probably just hanging out doing hobby as well, but I want to make sure that these rules, clarification, explanations that I'm doing are nice and clear for you guys as well. Because I don't want to be confusing for you guys and, you know, get rules wrong for you. But yeah, that one is just another clarifying rule. Just clears things up and means that, you know, it's very clear and explanatory as to when the rule does apply to the unit. Alright, next one up. Rules that affect a unit at the time it splits still affect the smaller units, apart from auras, where each unit needs to remain in range of it. Again, another one that makes sense. So say you cast Null Zone on a 10-man unit of... actually, no, that's an aura. That's a really bad one. Bad example. Say you cast an ability like a Psychic Power onto a unit, right? And you have to target a unit, and then you do the combat squad. Say it's a Space Marine unit, a full 10-man. You then apply the combat squad's stratagem to that unit, splitting off into two separate units. Both units are still under the effect of that psychic power until that psychic power runs out, of course. Because there's, you know, the models are affected at the time of them splitting off into two units. However, if it was an aura and one unit moves out of range when they split, then that unit doesn't get the benefit of it. So, really the impact of that one is quite minimal, but can have some impact depending on the situation you use it in. Alright. So, we're almost done on the bike. I've got some harder places to get into with the edge highlighting. But it's not going to be too hard for where I want, at least. So I won't worry about the rest because it's all hidden up there. Alright. Then I've got this interior piece right here. Yeah. I hope you guys are enjoying the stream, enjoying hanging out with me and the community here. I really do try to focus on having a very warm, very welcoming and chilled community. So I do really hope that you are enjoying hanging out as well as chatting through these FAQs and just talking about what changes they mean. Alright. So the next FAQ point is when shooting from an open top transport. there are a bunch of these different ones. So I'm going to go through one at a time whilst I reset the Alatok Blue so I'm actually able to get a non-watered down coat on there. Yeah, awesome, Silly Putty. Love to... I'll have a look in a second. Alright, so the first one for the unit inside when shooting from an open-top transport can't be affected by stratagems. It can't be targeted by them, which is huge. Because that means, you know, if you've got heavy bolters in there, you can't use Hellfire rounds. If you've got a missile launcher, you can't use flak missile. If you've got, you know, something else that has a stratagem for it, you can't use that stratagem with it. Yeah. Oh, trust me, I feel... Dark Elder use open tops quite regularly. So this is where that's really important for them. So you can't use stratagems on units that are shooting from an open top transport. Orcs as well is another good one. Thank you, Redder and Game on Steve, for reminding me of orcs. So yeah, that's really hampering. Now I'm not sure if the lasgun arrays, I'm sure Game on Steve would probably be able to confirm this. Are the lasgun arrays on a Chimera a part of the vehicle, or do the unit inside get to fire them, or count as firing out of them? Because that would be an interesting point for this one. Okay, Red Belly. Yep. Well, I'll definitely hit him up to find out. But yeah, so there's, you know, there's a whole heap of vehicles. Thanks, Game on Steve. I appreciate it. But yeah, that'll be an interesting one. So the next one is movement rules that affect the transport affect the unit. Yeah, nice. Steve's just saying his Chimera in the Beast of Chaos is awesome though. Yep, I know exactly what you're referring to. The actual, the Chimera, the beast, rather than the vehicle. So yeah, if you move and the unit inside's got a heavy weapon, then obviously they're at a -1 to hit. What else? It clarifies this a bit later, but also restrictions. So movement restrictions apply to them. For example, so if you move in advance with your vehicle and there's a unit inside, you can't shoot out because the vehicle advanced. Obviously, you can't shoot into engagement range. They do clarify that, though, that you can shoot with pistols. Okay. So they're fired technically by the unit inside, but they can only be fired when a unit is embarked by the vehicle. Interesting. That's an interesting rules one. I'm sure the Astra Militarum FAQ will have something on that, I reckon. Alright. So, I think I'm just going to read through this list. So, movement value, movement rules that affect the transport affect the unit. If the transport is in engagement range, then unless otherwise stated, the unit inside may only fire pistols at that unit and have to shoot that unit. An ability / aura doesn't affect the unit inside. If a unit embarks whilst the transport is affected by a rule, it is not applied to the embarked unit. The unit's normal abilities and detachment abilities continue to apply when they are making ranged attacks. Modifiers that apply to the transport also apply to the unit. So say you're outside of 12 inches of range when shooting at a unit, you still have to take the -1 on that unit from shooting from inside that transport. You don't ignore it. So a lot of clarifications there, which are really nice, and they clear up transports a lot better now. So there's a lot more clarity around how they operate when open-topped, I'd say. Do you guys have any thoughts on it as well in chat? Feel free to let me know. If not, I shall continue on to the next one. But we're just getting there with the edge highlighting on the bike. And it's just taking a little longer, but we should get this guy done tonight. So alright. After I do this line, I will pull out the next FAQ point and what I think of it as well. Really? They're not there? I found a website where there's a bunch that I should be able to use, but they're not coming up in the thing, and I don't get why. Yeah, like, Game on Steve, I will eventually be getting emotes and stuff as well. Don't, you know, as I've only been streaming for the past 5 months, I can't, you know, fund everything at once and do stuff at once. So yeah. You need to spend your victory points. Yeah, I know. Hydrate and stretch. Yep, those I can do. I can definitely stretch. I definitely need it though. And you can highlight a message as well. It's actually funny, I was watching another streamer today whilst I was at work getting work done. And in his chat, he's actually got something called Flex Highlight. And it's when you hit 999,999 channel points. And you redeem it, and it actually doesn't even highlight the message. And someone tried to do it on his stream. And it's just absolutely hilarious when he saw it. But yeah. Alright. So we've just got to do the highlights around the wheel hub, and then we're good. Alright, and in the meantime, the next one is models can't disembark from a transport after it is moved, even if the transport, is under the effect of a rule counting as stationary. So I think that's another nice clarification there, that even if it has actually moved, the stratagem will not impact that one and allow the unit inside the transport to get out. So but yeah. Yeah, again, another common sense ruling. There's been a lot of them in this round of FAQs, which has been nice. So, but yeah. The next one is moving/move/moves counts as normal moves. Alright, and that is it for the main rulebook FAQs. We've got some of the GT mission FAQs, and we've also got Stream Raiders ready to go. Let's head over there. Thank you everyone for the units, Actual Goldfish, Silly Putty, and Jensen. And let's get after it. I'm going to keep on highlighting because I've got about 18 minutes here to get this done. So we'll be ending the stream tonight at 10 o'clock. Well, 10 o'clock my time. It is currently 9:45. 9:45, so in about 15 minutes time. Just so you guys are aware. Looks like we're smashing it again tonight, chat. Well done, everyone. Thank you for the help. And let's see what rewards everyone gets. Jensen gets the 10 gold, and Silly Putty gets the 3 tank scrolls. Well done, guys. I'm just going to quickly do this line, and then I'll look back up and change it. Apologies. I'm not going to select a new battle for this evening. Thank you for everyone that has participated tonight in the Stream Raiders. It has been great fun being able to play it with you. Thank you for all the support as well. Alright, I think we are actually going to finish this bike tonight. Which means we're going to glue him together. So, alright. Now, the GT FAQ changes. These are all the non-rule ones, because all the rule ones we just covered. These are also the objectives. These are just the objective ones that have changed in there. So, the first objective one they've got that has changed is whilst we stand, we fight, which is the exact same as what changed in the big rulebook. So, the next one is players now roll off and the winner gets first turn. There is no choice. Which is really interesting, because it was not like that at all last edition. You got that choice, but also there was still seize the initiative in the game. So, what What do you guys think? I've played a couple of games with it so far. What have you thought of the new go first if you win the dice roll rule? If you have played any games. Yeah, I did know that one as well, Game On Steve. But at the time, that a lot of events weren't actually using those ones. So you didn't see that as often. But of course, as casual players that we are. Cypher reckons you should be able to spend CP to increase your dice roll to go first. How would you do that, Cypher? What do you... Frame that a bit more for me. Would you say 1 CP per +1 on the dice roll? Or would you say you've only got... you can only increase it once? Yeah, okay. That's an interesting thought. I didn't think of that personally. But I can see its effectiveness as well. Game On Steve doesn't like that. Okay. Why don't you like that, Game On Steve? Give us your opposing argument. Yeah, you could force the reroll. I would say if you spend it on the first one, you can't spend it on the second. But also, I'm not certain on this in the first place. I'd have to play test it to see. But it'd definitely be interesting. Game On Steve prefers the randomness and not being able to manipulate who starts. Yep, that's fair. That's very fair. Yeah. I mean, they've balanced it out with the next one that I'll hit now rather than the objectives is the final battle round. So the player with the second turn doesn't score in the command phase of turn 5 for primary, but at the end of their turn. Yeah, it does need some thought, I reckon, Game On Steve. Yeah, exactly. There's still that, you know, one side could spend more whilst the other doesn't for it. Let me just switch here and adjust this again. I don't know why it is deciding that it wants to not work out nicely for me. Because that should be more like that. Funnily enough. And then we'll transition back. There we go. So you reckon maybe spend 2 CP on it per point, Steve? Or Game On Steve, I should say. Fully. Yeah, exactly. Like, there is a lot more CP than there was in, whatchamacallit, in, in 8. Alright. Then the next one is the just objectives. So whilst this dries before we put him together, I do have some more detail work to do, actually. I've got to figure out the chapter symbol, so I'm probably not going to glue him together tonight. But that means that the first unit for me in the War on Grey Plastic is finished for the year, which is awesome. I'm really happy with how it's come out and the stuff that's been worked on as well. So, whilst I continue going through it, we're just going to... Oh, decides it wants to transition. Exit studio mode. There we go. Alright. So, what have we got? One more CP, and the other person has the option too, so you'd need some form of priority for it, and once you pass, you are done. Yep, I'd agree there, Game on Steve. I would agree. And I think it should be blind as well. Like, you don't know how many CP your opponent's going to spend, and your opponent doesn't know how many you're going to spend. Alright. So, the last two FAQ changes are objectives as well. So, the first one is bring it down. It used to be any model...
Brothers, the Emperor protects!
Hey! Thank you, Spartakin. Thank you for the host. We're actually just about to finish, my friend. Finish up for the evening. But thank you for triggering the new sound for the hosts as well. I completely redid all my audio. I have to fix up that alert box as well. I did it all this afternoon on the painting scene, but not the others. So I need to go back and fix that up across the board. I didn't realize it would do that because of the text and everything, but... that's all good. And, yep, it's all good. I hope you're doing well, mate. Hope everything's going well in your area of the world. And speaking of which, I'm going to do a shout-out for you, Spartakin. If you want to hang out with another, another hobby streamer, and you're on the other side of the world, Spartakin is... an absolutely awesome bloke to hang out with and do hobby with. So make sure you go and check him out. He's really awesome. Done some collabs with him so far. Looking to do some more in the future, hopefully. We're just going through the last objective changes in the new GT Mission Pack FAQ at the moment. All good, my friend. No stress at all. So, bring it down. It used to be, I think, 3 victory points for every monster or vehicle with 10 or more wounds. They've now changed it. So, it's a lot more granular now. So, it's 1 victory point for every monster or vehicle with 10 wounds or less. It's 2 victory points for every monster or vehicle with 11 to 19 wounds. And then it's 3 victory points for every monster or vehicle with 20 or more wounds. So that's really reduced that. So it means that if you're playing against Imperial Knights, this isn't necessarily an auto take. Oh, yeah, it does have very limited applications now. Cypher, I do agree. I do very much agree. So you're probably looking at using it when someone has a lot of monsters. So it's going to be useful against Tyranids. It's going to be useful... against large... yeah, you wouldn't take it against Knights unless... yeah, unless it's Armiger spam. That was what I was going to say, unless it's just all Armigers. So yeah, it's a bit hit and miss now. Yeah, so the GT Mission Pack FAQ for your Game on Steve. I will pull it up for your page reference. So this is the first page, bottom left-hand corner. So yeah, it's an interesting change. I'm not sure if it's for the better or for the worse. Armiger spam is where it'll be. Against the Tyranids, it'll be useful, but not too many other places unless you're running into mech spam for orcs, like a lot of killer cans or trucks or things like that could be where it comes into play. The next one, though, had a large change, a very large change. So, Abhor the Witch, which is top right-hand corner of the first page of the Grand Tournament FAQ. It changed from being 5 victory points per Psychic character to being 3 victory points per Psychic character. And changed from 3 victory points to 2 victory points for every other Psychic unit. That is huge. That is actually huge. Because it means that Psychic focused armies aren't as hindered by this one, and it's not as easy to max it out. To max it out, you need to kill 5 characters, or you need to kill 8 other units or a combination thereof. So 6 units and a character, or yeah, however it works out. 5 units and 2 characters. Cypher reckons the change is pointless. Why do you think so? Why do you think the change is pointless? I'd love to hear your opinion as we wrap up. Yeah, they'll still give up the 15, but it's that the enemy just has to work a lot harder for it, is the thing. So, it also means that if you've got 3 Psykers in an army, and none in your own, then it's not an automatic 15-point choice for your opponent. Which I think that's more than what they were going for. They weren't necessarily... Yeah, that is also true. I think, you know, if they bring 3 Farseers on jet bikes, then you should be punished for that, obviously. But yeah, no, definitely, you know, I think there are definite, you know, ways that it works and it doesn't. But yeah, alrighty guys, that is going to be it for tonight. First off, thank you so much for everyone that has hung out for tonight. I know tonight's a bit more of a shorter stream. Just a reminder, I will be up again on stream Friday night, 7:30 PM Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time, where it's going to be community hobby night. If you are not following the page and you want to get involved, it's for followers only. So if you hit the follow button on the page and you hit !Discord, it'll be for members of our Discord, so we'll do it through there. If you jump in there, you send me a direct message. The first 3 people that send me a direct message will be the ones jumping in with me. And then whoever messages me after that, if people rotate out and jump out, then you'll be able to jump in. And we'll continue that. If you hit !Socials, you'll be able to find my Facebook, my Instagram, my YouTube. Pretty much I am the most active on Facebook and Instagram. So if you want to see what's going to be coming up for the week, what am I doing day to day, you know, I post up stuff when I'm going to the gym, when we're going live, things like that as well, on the Instagram and Facebook, as well as more stuff there. Follow me over on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube as well. I'm getting that up and running this year. I'm going to spend the first 6 months of the year learning how to do a bunch of stuff. Second 6 months of the year is going to be all content for you guys, hopefully. It's a lot to process for me at the moment, so I'm just getting my gears going with that. So yeah, if you have not followed the page and you would like to, highly recommend doing so. You can see a bunch of details down in there as well. Any, you know, support you decide to show me, guys, whether it's subscriptions, whether it's donations, whether it's bits, anything like that, it's all just going to be going straight back into the channel, improving this content. You'll see on my page I've got goals sitting there as well. They're the goals that I have for this year in terms of what I'm wanting to purchase to improve the stream. I want to get a solo mic that's not this thing on the side of my face with my headset. I want to get, you know, upgraded graphics card. I want to get lapel mics for our live battle reports. I just want to improve everything for you guys and improve the viewing experience. So, for tonight, what we are going to do, we are going to go raid someone and go hang out with them. Remember, I love to share around the hobby love with friends of mine in the Warhammer channels. Alright. Now let's see. Who's cracking around? You know what? Steve mentioned him earlier, but we're going to go hang out with Red Belly. He's another Twitch streamer, a local guy to me. He's an absolute awesome bloke. So I'm gonna... Okay, on Steve. Nah. So we're gonna... Hopefully that comes up. Yep, we're gonna go raid Red Belly as we finish off the stream. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me tonight. It's been absolutely awesome having you guys come and join in. I'll be in Red Belly's chat for about 10 minutes with you guys as well, and then I'm going to be heading off to bed as I got a 6:30 start for work tomorrow morning. Again, thank you so much, everyone. It's been absolutely awesome hanging out with you again, guys. I will see you guys Friday night. And a reminder, Saturday's stream is up in the air still. Just as a reminder, I will confirm on Facebook, Discord, Instagram, and on my Twitch page as well when I know if I'm going to be able to stream on Saturday as soon as I can. I'm hoping to get the details lined out tomorrow. But for now, good night, and I'll catch you guys on Friday for Community Hobby Night.